everybody. Welcome to What's Watch. I'm Clint Gage. With me, Nick Limon.
How's it going?
Jim Vejvoda.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Doing good, man.
Wow.
Great. You ready to talk about some Joker Oscar chances? We all
Sure.
knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Joker got nominated for 11 Academy Awards, the most out of any movie this year. Just to run down them real quick, there's the big ones: Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Editing, Cinematography, Costume Design, Sound Mix, Sound Editing, Score, and Hair and Makeup. That is an impressive list.
Yeah.
So, do we think it's going to sweep all of them?
No, I don't think it's going to sweep all of them.
Full no.
No.
No, not at all.
Okay, yeah, me too. I agree. But let's talk about the chances it has to win some of these individually. Let's handicap some of these, starting with some of the more technical ones.
Yes.
How about the hair and makeup? Any chance at all?
I think it does. I mean, it's a huge factor in the movie, but I think it could also be something where Oscar voters are like, it's just clown makeup, you know, and they'll just go with something like Judy or even Maleficent or any of.
My thing is, there's movies like Maleficent that are these big, outrageous production design kind of movies generally take home those kinds of awards, but it's the only one that's nominated in that category that fits that bill. You know, it's Bombshell and Judy, and 1917 is pretty rad, but...
See, I see it working for this just because it is taking something that is iconic, that is the Joker, and kind of bringing it to a gritty, real-world look that everyone's just, like, kind of impressed by, I feel. Like, it's just... This is what the Joker would look like in a Robert De Niro, Scorsese-esque, late 60s, early 70s, like mob kind of like psychotic thriller kind of thing. Right. So I think it really does bring that through. Everything smells and looks like it smells like cigarettes. Like it just works.
So then let's talk about some of these technical categories let's lump some of these together. I mean, there's categories like editing, sound mix, sound editing, score. Those... I don't think it's got a chance to win any of those.
I think
maybe editing. Score. Yeah.
I think it's got a real shot at score.
See, I don't know that I agree with the score bit, just because in the trailer, I felt that the stair scene in the trailer was far more powerful than what we saw in the actual film. Like, I almost started laughing when Gary Glitter started playing.
I do remember Gary Glitter more than I remember the score, to be honest.
That's why I was just like, why did they do this? The trailer sold me on this scene being a powerful moment, and I feel like I got the rug pulled out from under me.
Yeah. I do think sound mix, sound editing, things like that. Like those awards always go to movies like Ford versus Ferrari, which needs to make a car race, exciting and engaging and like
sound real.
And it's that type of stuff that sound editors who, you're judged by a jury of your peers in the Academy, where like it's all sound editors voting on sound editing. So it's like that's the kind of thing that they tend to appreciate. I don't think there's anything in Joker that set it above that kind of thing.
Nothing that stands out to me.
I mean, there's a few interesting things that they did with what's real and what's not, and the transition between reality and fantasy, but that's nothing.
I think like when you have movies like a Ford v Ferrari or 1917, right. I think these are the categories where if there's going to be a sweep, you're going to start seeing it start here and build and build.
With and editing as well.
Yeah. I mean, editing. That's like the old. Kind of like handicap thing is like if a film won best editing, it usually is a big indicator that it's going to win best picture, but it's not always the case. And we'll get to best picture, but I feel like the movie that will win best picture isn't even nominated in the film editing.
It's a tease for the end of our conversation.
No,
but let's get into
keeping them engaged.
Yeah, let's get into the more creative categories here. Adapted screenplay. This is an interesting category because, for all intents and purposes, this is an original Joker story, right? I mean, it's not based on any particular run of comics. It's sort of got some ties to some of the, because there's so many different origin stories over the years.
Killing Joke and that,
right?
But it's like it's basically more an adaptation of a Scorsese movie than it is a DC comic.
Yeah.
But like I think in this particular category, it has been nominated by the Writers Guild and some of the other groups. I think it has a fighting chance, but my gut says this is the one that Greta Gerwig gets.
Completely agree. I do think that this is going to be
Little Women.
this is going to go to Little Women, but I will argue that I think Joker's best adapted screenplay might be the most valid, just because it feels like it's taking this amalgamation of source material and taking snippets of them and kind of making a best of in the best possible realization of what a Joker origin looks like. Since we don't really have a solidified one, I think it's pretty bold to take something so beloved and iconic that has so much imagery and kind of condense it down to 2.5 hours or however long the movie is. And I think that's a tough thing to do.
I do also think that traditionally the Oscars have a tendency to, the screenplay awards in particular, that's the award that they give to the movie that it's the only one that they get all night.
Yeah, the
right?
costume drama one.
Yeah, that's why I think Little Women has a real shot. I think Jojo Rabbit has a real shot at getting some love in the adapted screenplay category as well. I feel like it's gonna be a movie that doesn't win another award for the rest of the night. Like that's the one that it gets.
I think
Irishman 2 is another one. It's got a chance here.
Yeah, I think it's Greta's to lose, and I could see it. I think she deserves the win. I think she did a great job, but
especially for a movie that's
also,
been made so many times, like she did bring something different to it.
But also too, like they do need to kind of address in some way the fact that no female directors were nominated. There's no, I think this is the moment in the night where she gets the standing O, and this is the, a moment where that can kind of be addressed outside of the humor that I'm sure will inevitably come up, even though it is a hostless Oscar.
Yeah, who's going to make that joke?
Somebody will either make Natalie Portman. Or somebody.
Right. So then moving on to Best Director. Does Todd Phillips have a shot at this?
No, I don't think so.
I think he does.
You think he does?
And I don't know that I personally think he deserves it, but I feel like he almost has already started treating the movie in a way that he's already won the award, and just kind of how laid back and chill he is about just discussions surrounding the movie. And I don't know. I do think he has a shot. I don't know that it's deserved.
The fact that he wasn't nominated for by the Directors Guild, I think, I think him and Tyker were the ones that were like right on the cusp of getting one, and Todd probably just edged him out. But I think this award goes to Tarantino because he's never won a directing Oscar, and he's only won for screenplay.
That's just fine.
I mean, I think it's and we're not here to review our the movies or anything, but I will say it to me it would be reminiscent of when Scorsese won for The Departed, as opposed to all these other movies he made.
That's a make do kind of thing that
and that the showbiz element of it all. I mean, Hollywood loves talking about itself.
Yeah, and he's always threatening to retire, so maybe this is the last movie, and maybe we'll give him one before he's done or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I think
if it's not him, it's probably Sam Mendes. As much as I'd love,
I think it's going to be Mendes. Yeah. I think especially for directors voting on this to see something as technically proficient and as interesting, and because the one shot thing is such a gimmick in a way if you use it incorrectly, and I think 1917 does an incredible job. Mendes did an incredible job with it. Same thing with Birdman from a few years ago. When it's pulled off correctly, it's a fascinating device, and I think it was really, really cool. So I think Mendes is in the lead, and he just won the Golden Globe as well.
Well, he got the Critics' Choice tied with Bong Joon-ho for that. So
I could see Bong Joon-ho being some serious competition in that. He's kind of been making the media rounds as being like a face and name that people are hearing and seeing over and over. And so I feel like that could have a tendency to sway. Some people are like, you know what? Yeah, he was pretty good. He did make a good movie. He directed the hell out of Parasite.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is the race that I think I'm probably the most interested in of all the categories. Right. Best Picture, sure, but I think director, because I know it's already been divisive because of the nominees and everything, I think this is just a really interesting race.
It is. And it doesn't necessarily, there was a time where Best Director and Best Picture were usually 9 times out of 10 paired, and over the last 4 or 5 years that hasn't been the case at all.
We've gotten into this strange kind of consolation prize thing,
right,
where you feel like it almost feels like it's committee cherry picking, but that would be a little too conspiracy theorist. I think people honestly go down that ballot and be like, oh, I want to give something to them. I like her, you know.
No,
and
it
everyone's-
feels very much like that. And at the very least, too, it's like, no, it was an amazing, there's like one part of it's the one take thing that I'm giving Sam Mendes the best director for. But then Best Picture, I think, like, yeah, you know, Once Upon a Time was bigger, bigger deal to pull off and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But before we get to Best Picture, let's talk about Best Actor.
Joaquin.
It's
Yeah,
Joaquin, right?
this is the one that Joker will win.
This is the one. If they can go 1 for 11, and it's this one.
Yeah.
I
I think his one big competitor is Adam Driver.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I think that's as great as everyone else is. That's in that particular category. I do think Adam could be the surprise upset.
I do agree though. It's if anything jumps up to surprise, it'll be a smaller movie. Like I won't be surprised if Antonio Banderas wins.
Pain and Glory.
I mean, yeah. It'll be something like that. It'll be something. It'll either be Joaquin Phoenix or it'll be like literally the last person anybody expected.
Jonathan Pryce.
It'll be Jonathan Pryce. It'll be one of the two popes. So the big one, Best Picture. Joker's odds at winning the big one.
I think it's got a real chance. It's a movie you can guarantee everyone saw. You know, it's a huge hit. They love rewarding box office success.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will win. I don't know if we'll ever get another comic book movie that will have such a good chance at actually taking home that top prize. But my gut tells me that Once Upon a Time will probably get it.
You think?
Because no Tarantino movie has won Best Picture, even though, again, like we're not.
So it's going to be
re-reviewing
Tarantino's
movies, but I don't
year.
think it's like his strongest of all the ones he did. You know, if not, it's probably 1917.
Right.
I think it's going back to, you tapped into it a little bit earlier, but I think it's just going back to the idea that the Academy loves movies about Hollywood, and what a better love letter to not only the medium of film, but just a bygone era, an era where what if becomes better than the reality.
Right.
And I think that there's something beautiful to that, and I think that's a thing that the Academy could latch onto. That said, I do think Joker has a real chance of winning this category, but in my heart of hearts, and the thing that I want so bad, I do think Parasite has a serious shot.
You think?
I think
I'd
it
love
does.
for Parasite.
I would too. I mean, I think it's going to win Best Foreign Film. I think it's got a good shot at either screenplay or director. But I think that it's going to get one of those, and that'll be it.
That'll be it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
could see,
there's
I could
too
see
many other
Bong
options.
Winning, screenplay, maybe original screenplay.
I mean, and the other thing, like as an award for the producers, the Best Picture award, like I think there's a lot of love going to get thrown at the fact that they made Joker for so little and it made so much money. Like
and all the
that's going to be
controversy and that nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know?
And frankly, I think like the way that they calculate the voting, like I don't think Joker's going to finish below second on anybody's ballot. But I think there's a lot of
makes
other
you
things
wonder.
that might mix in to get first. Like somebody's going to vote for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood first and Joker second. But then the guy next to him is going to vote for 1917 first, but Joker second. And so like I think it's going to score a lot of sort of weird makeup points for that. Like I don't, it's going to be high on everybody's ballot.
Yeah.
But then the other options for the win, I think, are so sort of spread among the field that I think it's going to win on a. It's not quite a technicality, but like a quirk of voting, I think is
it's
maybe
like
its best chance.
It's like the Oscars version of like the Electoral College.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that particular race plays out. I mean, I liked all the Best Picture nominees, so I'll be fine with whatever
it's a good
wins.
field this year.
I just feel like when you look at that gallery of posters for like Best Picture winners, you imagine what will end up there. I see either 1917 or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like that just looks like it fits when they do the thing and they put the Oscar.
What are you talking about? It's the stairs on the poster of the Joker. It's the Oscar award
It'll
winning
be Oscar
Best
doing
Picture.
this.
Yeah,
there
I
you
mean,
go.
look, you
There
just
you
put
go.
2 trophies in his hands right there. One
Oh
for
my God.
actor, one for.
There we go.
Yeah, we already got the thumbnail. Of course, the other thing that's going to happen is it's going to win all 11 of these, and Scorsese's not going to win any at all, and Scorsese will have now lost to himself.
To a comic book movie.
To a comic book movie, and that is going to be a different conversation that we'll have if and when that happens. So let us us know what you think in the comments down below. What do you give Joker? What chance do you give Joker winning all of these, some of these, none of these? What do you think? Let us hear about it in the comments. And for more on Joker, check out our review of the film from way back, as well as Todd Phillips talking about Martin Scorsese's involvement in the film. And as always, subscribe to IGN. We'll see you next time.